gamers! Not too long ago, Square Enix released their Final Fantasy XIV tabletop RPG. As I had a gaming group with more than 120 years of tabletop role-playing experience between us, we naturally decided to give this a go. For anyone still undecided about this purchase and curious to see if it's worth it, here are my thoughts. I'm Debbie, and here it is. Getting started. In order to get started with the game, you will at least need to purchase the starter set. This comes with everything you need for 3 pre-made adventures, including a player book, game master book, pre-made character sheets, dice, strategy guide, encounter map, character tokens, and ability markers. At $59.99 USD, this is a fairly decent price to get started in the game and what we purchased for this review. A standard Final Fantasy XIV tabletop RPG rulebook is $69.99 USD on its own, and the deluxe edition of the rulebook, including metal dice, dice tray, dice pouch, player board, job cards, trait cards, metal coins, enhancement cards, MP counter, erasable encounter map, 9 encounter maps, a whiteboard marker, way markers, and deluxe edition box, is available for pre-order to be released in February 2025 for $189 USD. But fans of tabletop games will not be too shocked by that price tag. Hobbies are expensive. But once you have the materials you need to get started, you can get to playing. Almost. Just a little bit of pre-game setup is required. Pre-game. We did have what the industry calls a Session Zero, where you gather together on a day before you intend to play the game so that you can get everyone's characters created, the world building done, and all players are on the same page, excited for the first game and familiar with what's going to happen. This Session Zero was far shorter than any other we've previously had though. As the characters for the starter set are pre-made, you just need to name them and decide who is playing what. As well, 4 out of 5 of us have played or are currently playing Final Fantasy XIV, so we were already familiar with the lore. What took us the most time was reviewing the rules of the game and learning the mechanics. Thankfully, the system itself is pretty basic, though it is so different from other tabletop RPG games it took us a while to stop overthinking things. This isn't THAC0, my fellow gamers, think D&D 4th Ed instead. But once Session Zero was completed, my Femro Dragoon, Thunderous Skies, was ready to join her party members. Sir Bothel Fancy Pants the Paladin, Pope Tato Onato the White Mage, and Benji the Black Mage on a grand Eorzean adventure. The game. The pre-made adventures of this game take place, lore-wise, about the time the Warrior of Light is invading the Praetorium. So we are a group of adventurers assisting in their efforts by keeping the adjacent areas free of hazards. While it's true that our party has over 120 years of tabletop RPG experience, for this demo we had one of our players who had never DM'd before holding the reins. Because this system had pre-made scenarios and cutscenes were easy to read, it seemed very DM friendly, so he decided to give it a try. Our first session, completing a level 30 adventure, went pretty well. We decided that having knowledge of Final Fantasy XIV made the game much more immersive. We were able to very vividly visualize locations and even NPCs we ran across. But there were some things that we noted in a debrief at the end as standing out to us, both good and bad. Firstly, a lot of Final Fantasy XIV elements appear in this game even if you wouldn't normally see them / have immediate access to them in a fantasy RPG. Like teleports, aetherite crystals, link pearls, and limit breaks. A DM using these elements freely without the direction of a pre-made adventure could have a lot of problems with unruly players abusing these mechanics. Anyone who's DM'd for a group of murder hobos knows exactly what I'm talking about. Now consider that they can go anywhere almost instantly and can communicate with each other across any distance. Exactly. Secondly, combat has a few distinctions that make it very different from other popular tabletop RPGs. All attacks auto-hit for at least minimum damage, so there's no such thing as a miss. Stuns always succeed. Dots last for the entire duration of a combat. And there is no rolling for initiative. This last one though we rather liked. The party just always chose their attack order. We decided for our party that the turn order that made sense was Tank, Dragoon, Black Mage, White Mage. Combats are always players first, then monsters. So the tank could go in, get enmity on everything he could, the dragoon would jump anything not already tagged, and then the black mage would explode everything and the white mage would heal or damage as necessary. In subsequent sessions, we played the level 40 scenario and the level 50 scenario. Overall, the game was fun. I asked everyone for their feedback at the end of every session, and here are some standouts I haven't previously mentioned. Cutscenes are pieces of story read by the DM, but unlike in D&D and other tabletop RPGs, these cutscenes are not always specific to what the party is experiencing. Like in Final Fantasy XIV and their meanwhile in Garlemald cutscenes, we occasionally received information from our DM that our characters just wouldn't know. Things that were happening elsewhere, or something that we wouldn't be able to see or hear for other reasons. This was a bit off-putting for experienced players who like to play in character. Some larger fights have phases where the boss, number of enemies, or layout of the room changes, just like in the game. Players' access to abilities, limit break, and their health MP could also change during these phases depending on class and level. So once again, be prepared to experience some disconnect from reality. As misses don't exist, all enemies will do at least 1 damage per attack regardless of anything, so a DM can't necessarily create an out for a character who has almost fallen with a very timely Nat 1 miss, at least not without drawing suspicion from the players. Completing certain scenarios will earn you titles, and you can choose which title your character is wearing, as each give their own bonuses either to combat or to RP. Honestly, I wish this was something they would put into the game. And speaking of RP, there's no reason to really do much of that if you don't want to. It's all up to DM discretion how much or how little of that the party does. In fact, in some scenarios, it doesn't matter what answer the party gives to a problem, that is the solution or provokes the dialogue that continues the quest anyway. This is fine, and accommodates players who enjoy RP and those who don't. But if you're looking for the game to prod you and guide you to interact more, it won't. You just need to work with a GM whose playstyle matches yours best. There was also a mini-game of sorts, like you would find in the online game for players to go through. We were expecting a challenge, but it was far too easy. Debrief. Overall, we found that the level 50 characters were too OP for the level 50 scenario. The best balance between fun and challenge was at level 40 in our opinion, though the level 30 was a nice starting point. Our one non-Final Fantasy XIV player did find it incredibly difficult to resonate with the game. Places, people, and plot points, lore items from Final Fantasy XIV Online are not explained for non-14 players. This is absolutely a game for fans of the online game, and will not have the same appeal for other players who will be missing out on laughing along with you at the inside jokes. Also, stow those dice boxes of yours, you just need d20s and d6s to play this game. In conclusion, this game is great for Final Fantasy XIV fans who want to get together outside of game and do something. It's great for novice GMs who want to try their hand at a game that provides pre-made scenarios and plenty of materials to walk you through everything. Pre-made characters mean you can get to playing quickly and with little prep, and the battle system is easy to pick up for new players who aren't prone to overthinking it. The Final Fantasy XIV tabletop RPG is great for 14 players who want to dip their toes into the world of tabletop RPGs. It is not a great system for tabletop RPG players who want to add some 14 to their world. But if you're the latter, we did find a homebrew system that was perfect for that. Linked below in the description, we had these printed out for each of our players to play a 14 D&D 5th ed game, and it was a blast. This guide is so in-depth, it's absolutely a joy to read through, and I can't say enough great things about it. It's not perfect, you can tell it's a work of love, and I'm excited to play more of it. Are you looking at playing the 14 tabletop RPG, or have you already tried it and want to discuss your experience? Please let's discuss it in the comments below. As always, all the love in the world to my patrons and channel members for supporting me. I love the work I'm able to do for the community, and your support keeps me motivated when it's dark, cold, and oh so easy to just nap instead of making videos. Thank you all so much for watching, gamers, and I'll see you in game.